what you deserve, no nigga curb a hoe. And serving old man over there, hoe they know it go. And go again. Atlanta peaches and they born friend, they be going in, they gotta lure them in. Shit. So fuck shit, better go on with it. Paper on me at all time like I was born with it. Anybody get it and everybody fucking with it. Most iconic out of my motherfucking city, nigga.
Out in Miami, pulling yachts off the dock. Yeah. Barely watch my watch cause this money come round the clock. Yeah. I got a few haters, but they too broke to be ops. Trying to juggle all these women, I'm starting to feel like my pops. Walking out of Noble, put Gracie Hunt in the drop. I'm with the block, we turned to Hollywood.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 97 of the Splash Cast, the ATL edition. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. We are your HBCU homeboys. Let's do it.
Hey, Black Culture Awareness Month. You heard it here first. October,
baby.
I feel like, because most homecomings are in October. Some people try to be crazy having September and November. We don't like that. October.
We don't support that.
October.
No pause. October. Off limits, baby.
I need to be able to. I need to be able to move around. You know, I'm sizey. I'm in the big nigga brigade, shawty. So I need to be able to move around with some breeze in a nice hoodie. I don't need it to be warm and I don't need it to be cold. I need it to be just right. Fall is my weather. Fall is my season.
See, I'm a more springtime person.
I like spring too. You know, I'm probably 20 pounds away from being a spring person. 20 pounds away.
If I could just get this 20 off me,
that little dub, you know what I mean? Get that little dub up off me. But y'all know what it is with the ATL edition, man. We do Hawks/Dream news, Braves and Falcons news as well, man. We're gonna get right into it with the Hawks. The Hawks have had the middiest of seasons. When I say middy, it has been mid, y'all. We are literally about to be 39-39 on the season. We will probably end the season at 41-41. No matter how many wins we have in a row, we're going to follow it up with that many losses in a row. Look at John, 14. I see you out here. Shout out to Kyle.
Yeah, he auditioning for hopefully his new employer.
But there has been some aberrations or epiphanies or just wonderful things, development that we've seen for the Hawks. Jalen Johnson is one, and we'll get to talking about him pretty soon. But number two would be probably the marriage of Okongwu and Capella. They actually made history today, this month, by both averaging, this past month, March, by both averaging 70% field goal percentage for the whole month. First two teammates to ever do that in history. And Yeko Kung was 64 of 90, Capella was 81 of 11, man. I know we keep saying one or the other, you're going to have to end up starting Okongwu. I wouldn't mind that. I really wish that they could just get along. They are like together, with their forces combined, they are like a really good center, like a game-changing center.
That is the reason that I'm so frustrated about this season. I am a firm believer that this is the peak of the amount of skill that we will have on one team. I don't know how we would possess a better, more well-rounded team than the one that we have right now. And for us to, just like we just talked about literally seconds ago, be mid is disappointing. These guys playing their ass off for the whole month of March to be exactly 500 and to not ever really be more than a game above 500 is tragic. It is also reminiscent of the fact that we do not play nearly enough inside out. These guys shooting 70% from the field. For 48 minutes, we have one position that's shooting 70%.
And they're both averaging double doubles.
And consistently getting the least amount of shots. I don't understand. That to me drives me crazy. You got to play through the guys who are playing well. There's no reason that the guys who are making the most shots don't get anywhere. Like, just historically for this team, never get enough shots. Whoever it is, whether it be John Collins, whether it be Onyeka Okongwu or Clint Capella, just not enough shots.
Inside out, I like how they play. And this is why. You don't have to really run offense for either of them. It's good to run it because we're a pick and roll team. And Okongwu, I will say his skill set is starting to get him to the point where you may have to start running some plays for him. But right as of now, you don't have to run any plays for them, and they're averaging together, I think, 40 points and 20 rebounds a game or something crazy like that. You know, one will have 18 or 12, and the other one will
just try them out. 2 plays
get,
a quarter. You don't have to. That's my thing is you don't have to go crazy and commit to this is now our offense. But there has to be a point where, hey, they're shooting 70%. Run a play for them. Try it out.
I think they do run plays for Okongwu. They run pin down plays wherever he is, and he catches the ball in the post, and he can go over either shoulder and hit you with the hook. What's frustrating with the Hawks, now I'm going to pivot from here because I am frustrated. The Hawks have been, let's go to the schedule real quick so that while we speak. What's frustrating with the Hawks is we will go. I mean, literally mid. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, win, loss, win, win, loss, win, loss, win, win, loss, win, win. I mean, we can't get anywhere, right? So
there's a team with no identity.
What's frustrating to me is we will run post plays. Oh, sorry. We will run post plays. My bad. And run all the plays. Yeah, I did. We will run post plays for Okongwu and Jalen Johnson and Clint Capella, and we will try to get them involved. We will not do that for John Collins. We literally just sit John Collins in the corner, and that's it.
Make him shoot threes.
And I can't understand why. I can't understand why.
But y'all are prepping him to eventually get somewhere and become a three-point shooter. By the time that he really does this for a season, he's eventually going to get good at doing that. But by the time that you guys can actually use it, he'll be on somebody else's team.
Yeah. Yeah. And
congrats on your prep work, though.
I feel like Trey really does not like John Collins. Like, I've seen him make more passes, thread the needle passes, get past to the centers, and John be rolling right down the middle of the lane and nobody sees it. And I'm like, come on, man.
He'll no-look pass, and he'll no-look pass John, boy. Pass right over him. Next.
He will. But the Hawks are actually playing Dallas now. The last game they played Brooklyn, and shout out to
got whooped.
What's his name? From Phoenix.
Mikal Bridges.
Shout out to Mikal Bridges, dog. He had 40-something points and just beat the hell out of the Hawks. Pretty much by himself.
Now, I will say the guy who we had that should match up with him was not available. That's DeAndre Hunter, who's currently injured. I think we started. Yeah. Did we start Sadiq Bey last game?
We started Sadiq Bey at the 3, and he got roasted, toasted, and flambéed, boy.
And that is I know that Sadiq Bey looks more like what I believe the Atlanta Hawks want at the power forward position, but that is his glaring weakness. Is he plays little to no defense.
He's awful.
And you gotta score. We have to score 140 points every game. We have to score 140 points if you're gonna have the Trey on the floor, Sadiq Bey on the floor,
and Bogey.
DeJounte Murray. I mean, playing Bogey, substantial minutes. Even DeJounte Murray, he's a risk reward defender. He's not your sit in the chair type of guy.
Yeah,
it's gonna make it exponentially more difficult for us going forward.
I will say against Brooklyn, we did not. Our offense was not hitting. Outside of DeJounte Murray, there was really nothing going on from offense. I think John Collins, Clint Capella, and Trae Young all had single-digit points. It was a tragedy. And if they didn't have single digits, it was single digits till the game was out of reach. So it didn't really matter after that.
They could have honestly, all three of them could have sat for a rest if they was gonna play that bad.
Yep. Yeah, man. But there has been a player out, and it's not Hunter, it's not John. There has been somebody that has been out the last few games, and I think for the first time, Hawks fans and non-Hawks fans are starting to understand his importance to the game. Jalen Johnson has been out for like 2 weeks. He had like a hamstring injury, quad, like lower extremity, soft tissue injury. His defense versatility and offensive pushing the ball down the court is more valuable in Quinn Snyder's offense than ever before.
If he could get that shot to a reasonable range, nah, he don't fit either. He doesn't shoot. He's a worse shooter than John Collins in the corner.
But he can handle the ball though. John can't handle the ball like he can. He gets the ball and goes. You can teach him to
correct,
shoot.
but
I would think you could teach him to shoot more than you could teach John to dribble.
That shot is like I want him to keep shooting it, but is tricky. I mean, my thing about it is in full court offense, you're exactly right. He's perfectly fine. In half court, it's very difficult for me to find a place for him.
Well, but he's learning though. Again, he did come back against the Brooklyn game, and he led the team in rebounds. He can cut to the rim so well. He does not stand in the corner because he can't shoot. He's always moving on offense. He's cutting through. He's posted, or he's going to get the rebound. That's why he gets all the putback dunks. He does what John Collins used to do, right? That's what John used to do. And then John got a shot, and they put him in the corner. But Jalen Johnson missing was the biggest thing.
He typically plays with a Kongwu, and a Kongwu has the ability to at least not have to shoot right there all the time. So the spacing is also a little bit better. A little bit. It
is. And I've noticed that the Hawks have played John Collins with a Kongwu more, and it's unlocking John's shot and mid-range. So we did end up beating Cleveland, although Donovan Mitchell still had another wild game. 2 blocks by Jalen Johnson.
We beat who?
Cleveland.
We again?
Yep. Beat him again.
For the second time in 2 games?
And that in this game, Capella and Murray came along with DeJounte. DeJounte had 29. Trey had 10 assists. Capella had 10 rebounds. And we ended up we actually beat Cleveland and held the lead the entire game. That was a really good, complete game.
You talking about one of the best defenses in the NBA?
Yep. Now, they didn't have Jared Allen, but Evan Mobley was definitely held in check.
And that is Evan Mobley came to the Cavs at the perfect time, where they already had a legitimate center. He is not a 5, and you can't leave him out there.
But he's 7-1. He blocked like 3 shots in a row, one possession. I was like,
he is, but him alone is not nearly as scary as him and Jared Allen together. I think,
once Evan Mobley grows up a little bit more, and he's gonna be a problem for everybody involved.
I'm going to bring him down a little bit. I thought he was a little bit better. I thought that he could play the 5 for a game and it wouldn't look too crazy. I think that, he's like the Bam Adebayo, John Collins.
He's better than John Collins.
He should be. No. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
Yeah.
Not Julius Erving. Julius Randle guy who can be a very good 4, but you'd have to have a 5 there. You don't have a 5 there, then you're going to make it very difficult on this guy to show how good he is.
Yeah. If he ever, like, once he gets, I feel like he's on the same timeline as Giannis. Like, Giannis has so much potential, but he just had to, like, grow up a little bit. I feel like Evan Mobley just has to grow up a little bit more. I'm not saying he has the same skill set as Giannis, but he to me, his skill set is more Tim Duncan. And it could be, he could be an issue.
My only thing is I don't know. He got one of those bodies that looks a little narrow. I'm not sure if he's going to be
Aldridge type. Shout out to LaMarcus Aldridge, man. Career.
But even LaMarcus Aldridge, eventually, like he got the weight. But these guys now, they're young and they just look so skinny.
Yeah.
That's my Chet Holmgren concern is, can you put on weight?
Yeah.
Safely.
We ended up playing Memphis before Cleveland, and we lost to Memphis. I will say the games that we're losing, a lot of them we should win or have a chance of winning. We should have beat Minnesota. We could have beaten Memphis. We should not. We weren't going to beat Brooklyn. Brooklyn just got too hot. But we're playing better basketball is what I'm noticing.
Yeah.
The Hawks are just playing better basketball. Our defense still leaves something to be desired. Still wishing the Bulls would go on a losing streak so the Magic can sneak in. No, Sneaky. The Magic are not getting in.
Sneak into what?
The play in. Sneak into the maybe. But I will say that the Hawks, I expect us to go 41-41. And so now, with the standings as they are, we are actually we are pretty much in the play-in. We'd have to lose almost every game. We'd have to lose every game, and I think Washington will have to win like 5 out of the last 7 games for them to get into the play-in. For us not to make it anyway, especially if we win this game against Dallas. Right now, we are numbers? We're in the number 9 spot. I don't hate that spot if you're going to be in the play-in.
Nah, I want to be in the 8th spot so we can win one game and get in.
Yeah, because but if you win that, you play Boston, which is the worst matchup we could possibly have.
I don't.
But you're in.
Think so.
You're playing with fire, and you could play Milwaukee.
I'd rather have Boston than Philly.
I wouldn't. I think we match up better with Milwaukee than Boston. You can't play Philly. Philly's gonna play Brooklyn. We're not getting in the 6th spot. I'm trying to get to the 8 seed, not the 7 seed.
My
but that's
heart
playing
tells
with fire.
Me that we should be able to match up with Boston. We should. We have
not matched with them all year. I don't think we've beaten them.
I'm talking about from a player personnel standpoint. I'm not comfortable saying like Robert Williams or Clint Capella. I'm not gonna go down the whole roster, but if you look at the roster,
because we lose that. If you go down the roster, we lose that.
Either way, man.
DeJounte Murray,
I'm tight. I'm tight about
DeAndre Hunter or Jason Tatum. Like those two nullify pretty much the rest. And then their whole bench is better than ours. We match up better with Milwaukee because Milwaukee's bench isn't better. Give it to them.
Yeah,
come on, AJ.
But our biggest opponent has been the same opponent all season. Ourselves. It doesn't matter who we really put out on the floor. I think that we're a team that matches up against most teams in the East, minus Embiid, Olajuwon, very well. But we have to be committed to winning games and sharing the ball. That's our downfall, not the other teams. You said it. We play all of these games, and we're in all of these games minus the Brooklyn game. But it's about playing together. I 100% could see how you could play the Hawks in the play-in and get us in the playoffs, and it'd be a recipe for disaster for the other team. But we have to play together. That is the requirement. The Hawks, all season, everything has been on them.
Well, what's frustrating is we show spurts of playing together. We show spurts of actually being a good team and being together. We show spurts of that, and then all of a sudden we just don't anymore. And I'm like, I just don't like the inconsistency, I guess, is the better.
That is who we are. We're consistently inconsistent. Like right now, we started this. We was up by like 10. They've cut it to 5. It's a very reasonable chance we lose this game.
Yeah.
Especially shooting those type of shots, Trey. Thanks. It is.
We're watching the game right now, so you may get some spews of anger and hate coming out. But
I'm not angry or nor do I hate this. This is what I have as a team. We're going to continue to do this, and they just cut the lead to 3.
Yeah, they did. So let me go to the schedule real quick.
Do we got to?
Yeah, man, we got it. Where do you see us? Where do you see us finishing?
I would like to let's. And we just get to 8. Just stay at 8. That's all I want. I don't want to drop to 9 or 10, so we got to win 2 games. I don't
We got
foresee
Chicago,
us getting to 7.
Washington, Philly, and Boston left. Unfortunately for us, we got Boston and Philly are still playing for seeding, I believe.
You need to win 3 of these games. We need to win tonight, need to beat the Bulls, need to beat the Wizards, and then it would be nice if we could split one of those games.
I think if we win these 3 games, I think we're pretty much solidified of where we are.
Oh my God, we just ruined an alley-oop, turned it over.
Oh yeah, that's why we're watching the game. I'm a little ahead of Norwood. That's why I said, "Oh, AJ, you got to be better." We got to beat Dallas. Dallas sets the tone for where we are for the rest of the week, because by this time next week, by the time we podcast next week, it'll be the end of the season, and we'll know what the Hawks are gonna do. We'll know, or what they've done. Really, we'll know.
This is a disappointing season.
It's such a mid-season.
But
if we win these 3 and then lose the last 2, that puts us at 41-41. 82 out of 82 games.
And that looks about who we are too, boy. But yeah, man, let's get to the teams that I like.
What teams do you like?
The Hawks
Braves?
and
the Braves?
I mean the Braves and the Falcons.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Hawks segment, man. We got one more week. Kungwu and Capella are playing out of this world. Everybody else just needs to pick up the slack so we can finish strong. The Hawks look like they're destined for the play-in. By next week, we'll know who we're playing. Y'all stay tuned. We will be back with the Braves segment. We are starting off smoking hot, which I did not really see that happening. So y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. And Ronald Acuna is on an MVP race already.
And man, Sean Murphy. I mean, not Sean Murphy, Matt Olson.
Already, man. Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. Listen to the rough draft for the Splash Cast, whatever pack is going to be, 36 or 48. You never know. Y'all
definitely a rough draft.
Y'all stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 97 of the Splash Cast, the ATL edition, Sunday night edition. I guess this is Sunday service, shot. It's Sunday service.
Yeah, not what you was finna go with.
Y'all know we just finished the Hawk segment, man. The most consistently inconsistent team in the league. We are now going to talk about that team. Over my left shoulder, ladies and gentlemen, who those are listening, it is the Atlanta Braves World Series 2021 placard that I have up in my office. The Braves season has started off with a bang, Sade. The Braves played the Expos. The Braves played the Expos. And before we get into it, I must remind you that Norwood said, and I'm saying this because he always says that nobody ever gives him credit, and acknowledges things that he predicts.
Wait, hold on. Let me turn my volume up. So I can hear him a good ear now.
Norwood said Ronald Acuna.
There we go.
Is the Braves MVP candidate this year. And after a spirited debate where I said he wasn't the MVP candidate last year or the year before, and Norwood said going forward, he thinks he's the MVP candidate, which is a fair assessment. Especially since he probably thinks he's underpaid. Well, let me tell y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all how the Braves season started out in 2023.
Watch very, very closely here as Golden Acuna does what he does.
This one hits solidly to left. That ball is gone. Ronald Acuna leading off game 2 of the season with a solo jack to left. It's the first homer of the year for the Atlanta Braves.
Lead off dinger.
Then hit him with the too small
of the season. Oh, no, he always hit him with the two-step coming around third.
No, he hit him with the too small.
And on an 0-2 pitch, he
I missed
deposited
that
it
part.
out of the park.
Didn't take long, huh?
I'm so happy to have him healthy. I'm more happy to have him hitting home runs and to come right on in and start the season, knocking one out on the Expos, man, made my soul cry a little bit. I was so happy.
And
but he
then
wasn't the only person hitting home runs. There
Matt
he is.
Olson. Woo!
Mama, there
It's
goes
hit well to
strong,
right
man.
center. That ball.
That man swing
It's
that
gone
bat like
back
he
to-
wrestled bears in his
Matt
free time.
Olson, Matt Olson's major league, pause all of this conversation. The bat that he uses to hit home runs is, I don't know how to not say this without making it AOS, but his bat is big as hell, bro. Like, it is oversized, and his hand speed is very underrated because it looks like he swings so slow. Yo, this is crazy.
Go ahead. Yeah. Hey, man. I'm going to get out your... Clear out. Clear out. ISO.
No, that's
ISO,
passing
give
to
your
you.
face,
What's your thought on Matt Olson swinging his bat?
Well, you know that I've always said that this dude looks like he juggles in the circus in his free time, like anchors or something way too strong. And the way that he hits the ball is violent, it is direct, and it is consistent. And it's not it's not very verbose in the way that he does it. He's gonna swing it, and you should be somewhere else because the ball is going far.
I mean,
so far.
Yeah, I give Anthopoulos credit. If you gonna lose Freddie to bring Matt
You in your
Olson
car,
in,
pull over to the side of the road. If you're a Braves fan, stop your car, give that man a round of applause. We did not sign Freddie Freeman, and I will say through one season and one game, Matt Olson has been everything that we could have asked for in a more cost-effective player. I don't think that there's anything else we could have asked for. And Alex Anthopoulos, congratulations on doing an excellent job.
King of Sanity. Every time I do the home run trot around the bases, those tight baseball pants made me fart the whole way. That is a random thought, but thank you, King of Sanity, for tuning in to the Splash.
I'm glad that you felt comfortable enough to communicate that with us.
Yeah,
This
man.
is a safe space. Appreciate you, man.
It is a safe space for all sports fans. Let us know how you feel, man, even if it means telling fart stories.
Hey,
So
it's a
funny
part of
thing
life.
about Matt Olson,
Judgment free zone.
Matt Olson actually
Okungwu
went.
blocked it.
Yeah, about the hell out of it. Matt Olson actually went twice against the Nationals.
Look at this.
Woo!
Right there.
He somebody said he's on pace for 162 home runs. Yeah, the baseball definitely feels it. Like, and if you notice, none of Matt Olson home run barely make it over the wall. Like, most of his home runs are no doubters. Like, look at that.
And he don't really waste no time either. He get right to the trot. No bat flip, none of that. He's like, oh yeah, I just knocked this thing out of here.
You already know what it is, and it don't even.
Hey
be close.
man, that's
so
beautiful
he's
baseball.
playing well, man.
I'm happy to have these guys on our team. This is an excellent way to start the season. We won this game 7-1. Now we did lose today, I think 4-1.
I present that differently. We closed out the series winning 2 out of 3 against the Expos. That's how I say that.
Fair. You take the W's. You can't get them all.
Can't get them all.
Get what you needed to.
But we're starting out hot, man. And this is when he went yard twice. So this is the 2 dingers the next game. Woo! Lordy. So
yeah, that has to be immensely frustrating. And this too has to be immensely frustrating. Once again, if you're driving again, stop your car, pull over to the side of the road once again, give Alex Anthopoulos a round of applause.
Not only did you get Mike Harris, you also got Spencer Strider. Spencer Strider, season debut, he had 9 strikeouts in the Braves 7-1 win over the Expos. Woo! 99 on the outside corner. For those that are listening, we're watching him just absolutely
Hey,
blow
don't
the
worry.
Expos away,
If you can't hear it, just know they're missing all of these. Homeboy let the bat go. He was swinging so hard.
all of his fastballs, he's throwing 100-mile-an-hour fastballs,
That thing
95-mile-an-hour
sliding off the
changeups,
plate.
and an 85-mile-an-hour changeup. I mean a slider. That 3-pitch combination right there is crazy. Is crazy.
You'll have somebody throw their back out the way they swing.
So it seems that he is in peak form just in time.
100-mile-per-hour heater ain't no joke, boy. Let me tell you.
It seems that he's in peak form just fine. I mean, just in time, because Max Fried actually exited opening day with left hamstring discomfort. He was covering first on a dribbler in the infield and ended up tweaking his hamstring, and it was later released that Snicker said he's going to miss at least one start, and it may be an extended period of time.
I feel very comfortable with our team. I feel like we have a decent amount of assets to fight through the beginning of the season until people get healthy. I think that I feel very confident in our team. Alex Anthopoulos we're not a top-heavy team where we're dependent only on pitching or we're only dependent on hitting. We can kind of find ways to win games pretty consistently until everybody gets healthy.
Yeah, we definitely did. We definitely have depth on this team at almost every position. I think pitching, we also ended up losing our reliever in the first game as well. Pitching may be our biggest question mark because of the injuries, everybody coming back. We have a lot of unknowns. But if they reach their potential, we're already ranked the number 3 team in the league. If we have a good pitching staff, y'all are in trouble because the bats are singing early.
And the other part is we still have guys who are waiting for it. We still got Yanoa. He's on the 60-day injured list. We got Madsick. We got Soroka, who is going to start in AAA on Tuesday. We got Max Fried, who's out for at least right now. And then we got Kyle Wright. So we have pitchers now. And this also sets us up to get specifically Soroka, Wright, and Fried. You can throw them back into the mix. We got a force. Yep.
Now, Ron Washington, for those that don't know, Vaughn Grissom, who was he is the reason. I want to make sure that y'all understand. Vaughn Grissom was the reason that Dansby Swanson was not re-signed. I know y'all say it's the money. Dansby took the money in Chicago, which he did, because if you're not going to be re-signed by the Braves for what you think you're owed, you might as well get as much money as you possibly can, because his heart isn't in anywhere else but Atlanta. He said that. Vaughn Grissom was demoted. We talked about it last week. It was wild crazy. He is in AAA right now. He's in Gwinnett. Ron Washington had some words for him. He said, he basically told him Ron Washington's advice to Vaughn Grissom. He said, if you don't like it, play better. Grissom ripped a triple in his first game in AAA last night. So Ron's trying to give him some advice to get back up there.
I love Coach Washington because he is blunt, he is straight to the point, but he is also one of the guys who gets the most results out of the guys who he coaches. Mm-hmm. There is an immense amount of respect for Coach Washington. I think that goes across the entire roster. He gets the best out of players, and he didn't sell him a dream and say, oh, well, all the rest of this. He said, no, if you want to play better. And, in the time that we kind of exist in now, all players aren't willing to take that criticism. I also give, a lot of respect to Vaughn Grissom because he said it, he took it, and he didn't seem to be bothered by it. And I think he understands long-term, there's still a spot for me. All I have to do is play good on a good baseball team. I'm going to get the shot.
The spot is here. You just have to take it. Now, I will say Alex Anthopoulos also sent a message too. He went ahead and signed Arcia to a 3-year deal. Now, if that isn't a message, that I don't know what one is. Yes, Ron Washington can tell you everything Ron, watching the Hawks game. Ron Washington can tell you everything. He can tell you play better, and it's up to you. Alex Anthopoulos signs your paycheck, and Alex Anthopoulos is taking the money and giving it to somebody else. That is a big deal. So hopefully Vaughn gets it together. It's early in the season.
But we also know that Anthopoulos will hoard. He's all if once he deems you as a good asset, he'll pay you because you know we'll find a place for that guy to go and get something later, get some picks. We got to rebuild this farm system anyway.
We do.
There is no the Braves over the last few years up until this year have had a surplus of good young players. And if we got a guy under contract who we believe is a competent infielder, then yeah, either we will, number one, we can continue to work with Vaughn Grissom. And eventually if Vaughn steps up and he's at a point where he can be a starter, that's a very tradable contract that we have. And teams gonna need infielders.
So let me ask you this question before we get out of this Braves.
Shoot.
Segment. We traded for Matt Olson, and we also traded for the Oakland A's catcher.
Sean Murphy. Robbed them blind.
We traded Christian Pache. Christian Pache is not going to make the opening day roster for Oakland.
Boston. He's in Boston.
He's already in Boston?
Yep.
So there goes that.
I know what you were thinking, but yes. That
you
was the
bring him back?
article.
Do you bring him back?
I'm never against bringing Pache back, but I think that Boston did two things at one time. They're like, this guy probably might be pretty good, and on top of that, they're like, oh, don't let the Braves get him, because we would have got him back. We would have sure got him back.
And that would have been scary. So, but with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the Braves segment of episode 87 of the Splash Cast, the ATL edition. We got the Hawk segment, got a couple things we're going to talk about. We signing more players.
Falcons.
I'm sorry.
Falcons.
Hawks. Falcons. We're signing more players.
I'm talking about them chumps.
And it's not Lamar, unfortunately, but we're going to have a conversation. I need to talk about what Arthur Blank said about Lamar.
I just want y'all to take a moment here, specifically the people who've been rocking with us through the Atlanta Braves segment. Just when you get a moment, just think to yourself, appreciate the Braves, the team that seems to play together and enjoy playing baseball. Appreciate these moments because they are fleeting. God is love.
Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back with the Falcons segment of the Splashcast, episode 97, the ATL edition. Be safe. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment of episode 87 of the Splashcast, the ATL edition, the Falcon segment. Got a few things we're going to talk about today, man. I actually wanted to talk about we signed an offensive lineman, we signed a defensive lineman, and then we also signed a receiver. So let's start out with the offensive lineman. The Falcons signed Josh Miles. I know some of y'all are like, who is Josh Miles? Well, Josh Miles is a veteran, undrafted free agent out of Morgan State. 6'6", 340 pounds. He's a swing tackle. Shout out to him at Morgan State. But it looks like the Falcons are filling out their roster with bench players and players mid-level contracts.
I see what they're doing now. I think they're just stockpiling the war chest. They're trying to get. Last year we had legitimately the worst roster in the NFL, one of the worst rosters. I think they're looking now to, hey, let's just get competent players on the field versus really taking stretches. We're in offensive lineman and defensive lineman. We're going to have enough guys that if anybody gets hurt, we can just throw another guy in there. If we're going to rotate a bunch of guys so nobody gets tired. So since they may not be as good as we want them to be, if you can play fresh, then you should be able to attack and play aggressively on both sides of the line better. That's what it looks like to me.
They're trying to make it so that we're not an injury away from a 4-game losing streak. At this point, they obviously have like a prototype of what they want. They want bigger receivers. They want bigger linemen. They want to be versatile on the defensive line. So they signed big. All of our offensive linemen we've signed have been like 6'4" to 6'6", 300 to 350 pounds. There is no 6'2", 295 lineman on the Falcons offensive line anymore. Arthur Smith knows what he wants, similar to our offensive wide receivers. We typically go after bigger wide receivers.
Big and physical.
But on defense, they pride themselves on being versatile. So we did sign Joe Gaziano, which is cool. That's not who I thought we were gonna. I thought this was the Calais Campbell joint.
No, I think we talked about Calais last week at the end. We did.
So we signed. We signed Joe Gaziano, who is another player to fill out the roster on defense, but he has a quick first step. And he played for the Chargers. He actually had a couple sacks last year. So adding him plus Calais Campbell to a 1-year, $7 million contract, our defensive line looks to be playing a lot of bodies, and it creates a lot of single one-on-one matchups for Grady Jarrett, which is ultimately what you want.
I also think that looking at the way that we continue to fill offensive line, defensive line, it makes it look like to me we are going to go after a cornerback in the draft. That's what everything.
Sometimes we are skill positioning it out in the draft now.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if they get Nolan Smith though, because you need a linebacker still.
Yeah, I mean, I agree, but I feel like if you can go get a cornerback that you feel very confident in, next to AJ Terrell, I think that you probably got to make that move, especially with Jesse Bates. I just feel like that should firm up that secondary, which has been such a bane of our existence for so long. And they're just going to rotate defensive line. You might see a new defensive lineman every play.
If you have a good rotation of defensive linemen with a decent secondary, they both help each other, which is eventually
exactly.
Now, on offense, I had been trying to figure out what the Falcons were going to do at receiver, because we do have straight line speed in Cordero. We did not sign back really any of our receivers. We do have Drake London, who's a good possession receiver. We have an above average, exceptionally gifted tight end coming off injury, and we signed Jonnu Smith. But we didn't really address the speed component of the offense, the wide receiver, the slot. I thought we were going after that in the draft, which I still think we are going to go get somebody in the draft. But we signed Scotty Miller, who is another speed guy, played in Tampa Bay this past week as well. So he runs a 4.32 40. So
inexpensive. He's used to that position. Take the top off the defense. Don't really have to do much else than that. Yeah. Drake London, I would assume to be our wide receiver 1. Mac from the Raiders, right now penciled in as our wide receiver 2, even though I think we could go after one of those in the draft. Kyle Pitts is tight end number 1. Jonnu Smith is tight end number 2. You know, we still got Algier. We got Huntley. We got CP. We have an offense.
We have weapons.
We've put together. You know, I know we're going to talk about Lamar here in a second, but this is the best complement of weapons that we've had as far as even where everybody, you know, like when we had Julio, it's Julio, but it was Julio. Yeah. Now it's like you have to play more. You got a problem if you double somebody here. Whoever you're doubling, you're leaving somebody in
offensively. This is probably the best collection of weapons we have. Yes, it's not as top heavy talent wise, but it's the best collections of weapons we've had since 2012, when we had Julio Jones, Roddy White, Tony Gonzalez, Michael Turner. That we had playmakers on every level of the defense. And we also had possession receivers, we had speed, we had size, we could run the ball. And you had, if at the end of the day, just throw it to Tony or Julio or Roddy. It was really difficult for you to stop. The only team that could stop us really was San Francisco, who had a generational defense. They just had the second generational defense. They lost to the Ravens in the Super Bowl. So I think from a diverse standpoint, this may be the most diverse offense we've seen. It's up to Desmond Ridder to be able to just spread the ball around. It seems like Arthur Smith is kind of making you more of a game manager than anything else,
which I think is perfect. I think that's how we should start. Instead of he has the ability to throw the ball down the field more than Mariota, which is all we really needed. You can continue to manage the game. We're still going to have a rough, physical running team. That's where I think that's where our bread and butter is going to be made. But I think we're going to try to lessen it as far as putting people in the box with this array of weapons. You might as well throw it. Scotty, I only want to see you run 40s. Bro, you need to fly route every time. I want to see Drake and Kyle Pitts either flooding the zone if they go zone, or I want to see drag and dig if they're going to play man. We'll run some picks and screens there. I want to get Cordero into space, and I'm going to let, Algier run your face off.
What I am, good point, Sneaky. What I am noticing and what I feel is that they're making Cordero, they're going to pretty much play him at running back. I don't think that they're going to play him at receiver. So you watching the game? Yep. Y'all wake up, bro.
Yes. I'm about to have an emotional breakdown. Trae Young, for the second game in a row, while we're up, shoots a logo 3. No need for it. We could have easily got a good 2 here. We gave him a long rebound, gave him 2 points. All right.
Yeah, man. But let's get to this Lamar talk. So with the spending that the Hawks have done, we were up 6 with a minute left, and now we're tied. With the spending that the Falcons have done in the offseason, you can pretty much say that the Lamar Jackson fantasy is over. We're not going to get Lamar. I think we have about $20 million left in cap space, which is $30 million less than what he wants. I feel it came out that Arthur Blank, because the media has been on the Falcons' ass about not trading for Lamar, because we have all the cap space and we clearly need a quarterback. Or we have an unproven quarterback and we have a lot of cap space and we have a lot of weapons. Arthur Blank came out and reiterated the point of the health issue with Lamar and the way that he plays in the health issue and making a big commitment. I think that's full of shit. I think that's BS. Lamar Jackson got hurt in the pocket, not out of the pocket. I went back, because we did talk about this before. I went back and looked at the plays he got hurt in. It's not like he takes a lot of big hits. I think he injured himself 2 years ago doing a flip into the end zone. Like, he doesn't, in the game of football, he doesn't take really large, really big hits or anything like that. So I think that's BS. And then the Falcons then come back and say the Falcons fully examined the idea of trading for quarterback Lamar Jackson, but ultimately declined.
I understand that, but I also see what the Falcons are attempting to do, and with their recent salary cap hell situation with Matt Ryan and Julio Jones, I understand how they're not really looking to get back into the saddle of one of those. They're trying to be strategic with the way that they build this team. I'm okay with that. Now, I will also say that with that said, the team that I think that is more egregious is the Jets. The Jets want to spend the money. Why are you spending the money on Aaron Rodgers when you can get a quarterback that you could have for the future?
And you have pieces that you could have traded. Why would you trade Elijah Moore to Cleveland when you have the money, you have the pieces to go get Lamar? Why would you not go get Lamar and spend all of this on Aaron Rodgers? I mean, and with Aaron Rodgers giving you a list of demands, seems like Aaron Rodgers is the more toxic person to me.
There's no
Lamar
reason
Jackson.
for you to say I want Aaron Rodgers when I can get Lamar Jackson.
No reason at all. So I just hope this can go. The Lamar Jackson issue goes one of two ways. You either, if you don't get him, you have to be good. Your plan, your long-term plan has to play out.
Yeah, but no. The reason I say you have to be good, but when do you have to be good? Not anytime soon.
It does.
We're saying that we're taking the long way.
It does buy you a couple years. Because Desmond Ridder is so unproven, it buys you a couple years. But you've got it buys you 1 year. I'm sorry, it buys you 1 year. Because if you're asked next year, Caleb Williams is in the draft. And if you have an option to get Caleb Williams after you passed on Lamar Jackson, that's when the fan base loses a lot of confidence in you.
Why? Wait. So you no. That's the reason I feel like he has 3 years. Because all right, well, Desmond Ridder, we took him in the third round. If it doesn't work out, you can throw it away, and we go. If we're not good, and we go get
Caleb Williams,
then it's all everything is okay, and we didn't have to spend the butt ton of money that we would have had to spend.
Tried to say boatload and butt ton.
Yeah, and that's what I got to. Butt ton. It's a butt ton, boy.
Oh my God, this game is so stressful. Yeah. I hope it works out for Lamar. This is clear collusion. I mean, to me, it's clear as day. This is clear collusion.
Yeah,
and this wild crazy.
What I don't believe is that nobody should want Lamar. Somebody's got the money and should do it.
And it's funny how they're saying
San Francisco, you should go get Lamar.
You have pieces to go spend with Lamar. You can give them two quarterbacks.
You can send them a whole quarterback. I send you two quarterbacks. I send you
really
two.
Got three. They got Nate Sudfeld too. Edman, and they got. I can send you. I got three in the possible that you could take. Three in the possible.
We'll send you 3 quarterbacks, and we'll send you 2 first-round picks. And if you can't between 2
and somebody on defense,
3 quarterbacks,
I'll give you somebody on defense too. At that point, that'd be silly though.
Yeah,
Debo,
you would assume
Lamar,
so.
Or Miami. I mean, Miami. I can't understand why you'll commit to Tua. I can't. And I mean, no shade to Tua. When he's healthy, he's good. But I mean,
because
he has had neurological injuries over and over and over again. Why not? Could you imagine Lamar, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and Raheem Mostert?
Yeah.
Could you imagine
You
that?
want to know why I can? Because that'll be in the AFC. And it won't be my problem.
Out of those 4 names that I just said, who's the slowest person?
Mostert, Lamar, Cheetah, Waddle.
Who's the slowest out of there? No.
Lamar.
I think Waddle is the slowest person out of there.
No. What's Lamar's 40? Lamar ain't faster.
4.3. Well, then Waddle runs a 4.2. So yeah, Lamar probably is.
Yeah, it's Lamar. He's the quarterback.
They called him.
He's a very fast quarterback.
They called a foul. Oh my God. I'm listening. Go ahead, Lamar. I'm sorry. We're watching the Hawks game. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of that's it. Lamar's getting railroaded. Ladies and gentlemen, we've come to the end of the ATL edition of the Splash Cast. We talked about the Hawks, the Braves, the Falcons. Hopefully the Falcons can get it together and get Lamar. Norwood, if we didn't miss anything, take us out because I'm watching this Hawks game and I am stressed. No?
Ladies and gentlemen, this episode has had its highs. When I speak of highs, I speak of the highest highs. The Atlanta Braves starting their season with 2 home runs, to start the season. So fantastic to see Ronnie back on the base path, hitting home runs. That's been the highs. We're now dealing with the Hawks finding a way to lose. With that said, number one, more black beaches. We ain't forget about that.
We ain't forget about y'all.
More black baseball, more black cowboys and more black cowgirls. Number 2 and number 3, by far the most important part. Historically Black College University that you went to, your cousin went to, your auntie went to, that person that mentored you when you was in college, the person who mentors you now. Send some money over there on behalf of that person. Historically Black College University, in which the neighborhood that you live, the one that you go to tailgate, step show, to be on the yard, to be around young people, send some money over there. And then finally, send some money to the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. Send $18.68 on behalf of the Splashcast. Me and Reggie would greatly appreciate it. We have just had another fantastic podcast. Reggie is another year older. Congratulations on making it to 45, my brother. I don't know where I would be without you.
So that means you 44? You turned 44? Lord.
That boy was like, yeah. No. In fact, no.
Ain't nowhere near there, brother. I do hope to get there. But
yes.
Nowhere near there.
Once again, we are your HBCU homeboys. We are stressed and highly favored going into this official review with no time on the clock for the Hawks game. With that said, we out of here. Pray for us. We are stressed. This is bad. The world is crashing down around us, and 36 pack will be out on Wednesday, maybe 48. I don't know. Y'all tell me if y'all want 48. I try to figure it out.
Peace. Love y'all. So what we gonna do though is I'm actually going to keep us rolling, and we gonna watch the end of this game. The Hawks, it is 123-122. 0.4 seconds left. They called a foul on Capella on an inbound play to throw the alley-oop. The Mavericks have the ball to shoot 2 free throws, down 123-122 with 0.4 seconds left. JaVale McGee at the line. This is a live reaction. I can't believe they called it a foul.
Are you going to pull it up so we can see it?
No. That's copyright.
Oh, you're right.
That'll get our whole video kicked off.
Yeah, it's not like Spotify and the Chinese weather balloons ain't been hating anyway.
That's right. You're behind. My bad.
Well, that means that he made one free throw.
Nope, missed one. Free throw number 2. 0.4 seconds left. Hawks up 1. JaVale McGee.
So at least at this point, we working with overtime.
Yeah, we're working with overtime at this point. He's about to shoot.
But come on now, we need this. JaVale.
Are you watching the game?
Yes, but I'm just now getting to the first. Wasn't even a brick now. It was not a brick. That went and out. This is behind the scenes bonus content. Remember, always like, follow, subscribe to the realest podcast in the world. Thank you guys for rocking with us. And
yep, you thought it was over, didn't you? Overtime, man. Overtime. I know what I'm going to pull up.
Extra basketball is brought to you by Trae Young and his poor shot decision making at the end of the game.
Yeah, it was
I'm
bad.
out.
We had the game.
Cut it. Cut this off, Reggie.
No, I was actually about to pull up the play-by-play. We gonna keep it on. We keep it up. I'll pull up the play-by-play.
No, I'm done. I'm not gonna let these people subject. No.
Yeah, all right, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen,
I like
thought
y'all,
we were
and
gonna
I
watch
respect y'all too much. I need to cuss.
You could cuss.
No, not like I want to.
All right, man.
Not like
See y'all tomorrow, Monday Night Raw. Peace out, y'all.
See y'all. This is the Splashcast weekly schedule. You can find us on Monday Night Raw. That is the Around the League edition, where we cover all of the major leagues around the league. Tuesday is the ATL edition, Braves, Falcons, Hawks. Wednesday is when the playlist comes out. It's a Splashcast 24, 12, or 36 pack, just depending on the music. Thursday, for everybody who was not able to catch us live on Monday, they can catch up there on the Around the League edition. And then Saturday, of course, we bet beers for Saturday Morning Live. If you ever need to find us, we can be found at thesplashcast.com and of course, via Instagram at The Splashcast. Welcome to The Splashcast. You can find us at the link below. You can find the podcast versus audio and visual on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Our social media, Instagram, Twitter is @_The Splashcast. We can also be found on Twitch. We can be found on Facebook, TikTok. Also below that, those are our episode playlists. The newest one is always up. We can be found on Apple Music. We can be found on Spotify. There is a playlist home, which is for all of the different playlists. And then we have the playlist master list, which is every song that's ever been on any of the playlists. And of course, for all of you podcasters, we can be found on Anchor at The Splashcast.
Nigga, this that 06 Gucci man. Molly nigga gone off a pill. The nigga walk around like a Superman. Somebody calm him down, he about to shoot the man. Nigga, this that 06 Gucci man. My trunk won't be still. I'ma play the music loud as the music can. You don't like the way I'm riding, get your Uber in. Yeah, nigga, let's go.
I feel like it's me in 06 and 07, 08, and even 09. Still hard to kill. The last nigga tried. Go ask him, he didn't survive. I was sitting in the county. The niggas I fronted and helped, they ain't send me a dime. These niggas be kept. The way I was trapping went platinum before I was signed. Geeked up, I stayed out of my mind. Still was ahead of my time. And I was the man in the middle, but made so much profit you thought it was mine. And everything top of the line. Ain't nothing ain't changed, I'm still in my prime. I make it look easy, these niggas some copycats, they'll do whatever to shine.
Nigga, this that 06 Gucci man. Molly nigga gone off a pill. The nigga walk around like a Superman. Somebody calm him down, he about to shoot the man. Nigga, this that 06 Gucci man. My trunk won't be still. I'ma play the music loud as the music can. You don't like the way I'm riding, get your Uber in. Yeah, nigga, let's go.
21, pistol whip your mans. She eat the dip with both her hands. Pulling up walk, I'm trying to stand. Clap at the ops like I'm a fan. I got a dub for my advance. Hit for 100 on Moreland Ave. Long little shotty low, bitch, I'm the man. Home invasion, we trying to go loose on. Put his face on the stove, thought he knew some. You a stepper, then go put your boots on. He get hit with the cat if he move wrong. G-block, y'all trapped in the school zone. You know I'm the wrong nigga to snooze on. Have a ticket on a Rolex Bluestone. Reach for a face shot, cut the news on.
Nigga, this that 06 Gucci man.